So this is a story from my mom's childhood that she would tell us over and over again to warn us about the dangers of outside. So I'm gonna retell it to y'all because come to find out, some people actually sleep with their windows wide open. So my mom, she used to live on the island St. Lucia before she came all the way down here to the US. Where she lived, it was a pretty nice area. People were chill, and crime, like, that was just not a thing. It was non-existent during that time. So because nobody had anything to worry about, my mom used to tell us how everyone used to leave their doors unlocked. Like neighbors, friends, family, they would come over unannounced. And to them, it was no problem. On top of that, St. Lucia, it's really, really hot. So when it comes to, honestly, the daytime and the nighttime, the windows, they were always open. They were never shut. So my mom told me that one night, her and her sisters had to sleep over at their cousin's house because my mom's parents, they were working late and they couldn't come home and cook dinner. So their aunt, they offered that they could sleep over. She told me that it was in walking distance. And as said before, everyone was friendly. Doors were unlocked, windows were opened. So they all arrive at their cousin's house, and my mom basically tells me that they do like all these girly things because, you know, it's a sleepover. They're having fun. Also, they were all sleeping in their cousin's room, which was on the side of the house facing the road. So keep that in the back of your mind. Fast forward, it's really late, around 10ish, and my mom said that her aunt came in the room telling them to all go to bed. So my mom, she was rebellious at the time, and in St. Lucia, it's known that you're supposed to respect anyone that's older than you. So when her aunt came in and said that it's time for bed, oh, you better listen and you better turn them lights off and get tucked in. But my mom told me that she was not ready to go to sleep at all. Nor was her sisters, and nor was her cousin. So she basically told me that she had a plan to fake out her aunt and, like, you know, pretend to be asleep for like 10 minutes then wake up. And she said that is exactly what they did. And when they knew everyone was asleep, they got up and they resumed whatever they were doing before. My mom told me that after a while, she wanted to spice things up, so she decided to tell some scary stories. And one thing about my mom is she is a wonderful storyteller. Like, it will keep you in. She will reel you in. Anyways, here's where it got kind of creepy. She told me that she was about a minute into telling them a story about a wicked lady that would prey on those that were greedy for money. When all of a sudden, everyone started to hear branches cracking from outside their cousin's window. She told me they all got spooked by it, but didn't think anything of it until they started to hear a faint voice coming from outside. My mom said that at this point, her sisters immediately told her to shut up and stop telling scary stories because it's manifesting this wicked lady. And in this moment, all the girls were scared. So my mom told me that because she was the oldest, she decided to get up from where everyone was sitting, walked over to the window, peeked her head out to see if anything was there. She told me that as soon as she peeked her head out of the window and looked to her left and then looked to her right, she noticed a rock coming straight at her. She said the rock missed her by an inch, and it instead ended up hitting the side of the house. She said out of fear, she quickly flung her head back in and immediately ran over to her sisters, hugging them because she had no idea where it came from. She told me that seconds later, that same faint voice became more clear and it was the sound of an older man. She told me how her cousin had a window curtain, and because of that, the girls could see the silhouette of the man standing right outside the window. At this point, they were all petrified and frozen because not only is there a stranger right there, but the window is wide open. She said the man started mumbling some words which sounded kind of drunk, and then seconds later, he started to climb through the window. Also, when I say the window is fully wide open, I don't mean it's like the full thing open. It's like the halfway windows, if you know what I mean. So my mom told me that he started with his leg and then his arm, like going sideways in. And my mom told me that as soon as she saw that he was getting inside, she had to do something fast. That's when she took the nearest shoe, ran over to the window and started hitting the man. My mom told me that because one of his legs and an arm was inside, when she started hitting him, he ended up losing balance and he fell backwards. The only thing though is that when he started to fall back, he reached far enough and was able to grab onto my mom's shirt. It was like right around here. She told me that he was able to regain his balance, and because he had a grip on her, he was able to hold her against the window. So my mom says she let out a scream, and that's when her cousin and sisters immediately ran over. She said her sisters were pulling her back, which eventually made him lose his grip on her, and my mom's cousin began shutting the window on him. When her cousin ended up closing the window, it ended up getting caught on his leg and arm, so he was like bent over at this point. So the man starts yelling in agony, and here's where it gets kind of disgusting. So as soon as the man starts yelling, my mom told me that her cousin got startled and opened the window so that the man can, get out. As soon as he lifted his leg out, she shut it again, but his finger wasn't fully out, like he was pulling his arm back. It ended up slamming on the bottom, and his middle finger, it ended up slightly coming off. So the man is outside tugging tugging on his hand, and she said she was quite literally watching as his finger was getting ripped off. She said her aunt came busting into the room to see what was going on because she heard a ruckus. And in short, she ended up calling the cops and told them not to open up that window until the police comes. Once the police arrived, my mom said that she had to explain what happened, and everyone said that they have never seen this man before in the town and they don't even know where he came from. But he got taken away and he went to jail. My mom told me that after that day, the story got told all around town, and after that, nobody slept with their windows open and doors unlocked. My mom also thanks herself because she said if she wasn't rebellious and went to sleep, that could have ended way differently. And possibly so much more worse, being that it was a grown man and little girls. But this is the story my mom used to tell us all the time, and now I encourage y'all to not sleep with your windows open. Lock